Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Psychic Goddess Erica. Continuing on with the Learn the Tarot series with card number 6 in the Major Arcana, the Lovers. So coming off of the Hierophant, which was card 5 in the Major Arcana, we are now on 6 with the Lovers. And as you can see, one of the first things you notice is almost this Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve theme, right? Now, again, I read intuitively, so I'm not going to break down all of the symbols, quote unquote, but just kind of how I interpret things intuitively. Let's start off with the number 6. So the number 6 has a shadow and a light side. The number 6 obviously is associated with the Lovers, but it has a shadow side as well, to where it breaks down to choices, right? You can either allow the ego, or what some would call the devil, to kind of control your choices and your decisions, or you can choose the harmonious side or the loving side, the side of love in terms of love vibration energy, not necessarily about romantic love, but the love vibration energy to make your choices and decisions. So the number 6, the light side of the number 6 can represent feeling physically stable or safe. It could also represent financial prosperity. It could also represent harmony and flow and loving vibrations, because 6 is made up of a combination of 2s and 3s. 2s being choices, decisions, relationships, etc. Also 2 being like balance. 3 also representing community and manifestation. So like, it's made up of those, depending upon how you play around with the math. The number 6 can be made up of 2s or 3s, for example. So the number 6 can either be, like, for example, if you're seeing the number 6 repeatedly, 666, 66, etc. Pay attention to what your thoughts were just before you notice those numbers. I mean, do that with any numbers when you see them repetitively. But like, if you find yourself worrying about health, or if you find yourself worrying about money, or if you find yourself worrying about material things or things based upon the ego, or maybe like superficial things, you know, then the message is you need to get your thoughts in check, because you're leaning towards the energy of the devil and the ego. That's really all it is. If you're seeing the number 6 and you're feeling good and happy, then you're on the energy of the harmony, the loving vibration. You get what I'm saying? So the number 6 has it's about choices. The Lovers card also represents choices. A lot of people, when they see the Lovers card, they assume that this is about romantic relationships, things like that. Although it can, depending upon certain questions or what the energy of the reading is giving, it's more about the choices that you make from the heart. It's more about the choices that you make in relationships. It's more about how relationships are a mirror and what it's reflecting back to you. So I always like to say, do you like the reflection? If so, then you're on the right path. But if you don't like the reflection, what is it teaching you? What is it showing you? What is it mirroring back to you about yourself that either needs to change or still needs to be healed, etc.? So the Lovers card is really more so about choices in terms of who and what and why you give your love, or you know, whether you're making choices from the ego, whether you're making choice from love, more so than it is about romance and things like that. Even though sometimes it can represent that, a lot of the time it's more about looking into the choices that you're making when it comes to those intimate relationships and partnerships, whether it's romantic or business or family, etc. The people that you love. The things you love too, because sometimes in a business reading it can represent too, like, are you moving from a place of love or out of a place of desperation or scarcity mindset or poverty mindset, things like that. So the Adam and Eve theme is very strong here. We also even see the snake here, and the tree of life, you could say, the fruits of knowledge. So in summary, it's kind of breaking down the energy that it represents creation, you know. If you follow that theme, the beginnings of things, the divine masculine and the divine feminine energy that creates things, knowledge that we learn as we make choices, as we deal with people in relationships, as we grow on a spiritual level. You know, spiritual level, we have the angel, etc. up here, representing the divine, is how I read it, the divine source, creator. The snake, people always think the snake is evil, but really, and even in the Adam and Eve creation story, symbolically it represents the kundalini. It represents healing and transformation and rebirth. So when you are hit with certain knowledge, like even if you eat the fruits of knowledge, when you're hit with certain knowledge, you can begin to realize that everything is not always peachy keen. So information and knowledge can sometimes be a harsh reality, and that's also something that is represented here with the Lovers card. And also the snake, again, it can represent transformation, rebirth, that kundalini energy within us, and sometimes it could even represent our genetic makeup, because sometimes it could represent like the coils of the DNA strands. So like our DNA makeup, our genetic traits, our ancestral our ancestral energy that gets passed down, things like that. The things that make us are here too. So yeah, that's kind of the breakdown that I have for you, mostly when it comes to the Lovers card. Again, and reverse too, like to me, reverse, sometimes I read reverse, sometimes I don't. The energy of it you can get completely from the story of the other cards and what you're feeling intuitively from the question or just what you're sensing. But you can choose to read it reversed or not. Reversed, it could maybe mean some challenges when it comes to relationships or the choices you're making or blockages, or maybe you don't love what you're doing, or maybe someone within it is not moving from a place of love and maybe more so from the ego, that kind of a vibration that can come up when it's reversed, or even if it's upright, depending upon what the other cards are. So if the other cards are harmonious and the energy of the reading feels good, then you're probably on the loving side of things. If it's not, then you're probably on the other side of things towards the ego, etc. So that's what I have for the Lovers. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Please comment below your own, what you vibe with the Lovers card with, your own interpretation, the lessons you've learned regarding it. Also, remember to subscribe, like this video. If you choose to, you could always tip me for being your teacher and all this by buying me a coffee. That information is below in this description. And share this video around, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.